Hello, and welcome to the second episode of Flipping the Classroom. Today, we are going to be talking about world population, and more specifically, population density. Look at this map here. This is the world. This shows you the amount of people living in different countries in the world. As you can see here, this is the United States. It's got some red. The red means population, and that would be a high population. Go up to Alaska, not many people living there. Over to India, a lot of people live in India and China. So you can see where there's a lot of people living and where there are not a lot of people living. Before we get into some activities about population and population density, first we have to define all three terms. So most of you probably know what population is. It is simply the total number of people inhabiting an area. That could be a country, a city, it could be Wesleyan. So there are about 90 students in the 6th grade. That will be a population. Density. Not many of you probably know what density means. According to the dictionary, density means parts closely compacted together or crowded. So if we were to put these two together, we would get the definition of population density. The number of people living in an area per the amount of space. So, think about that. Do you think that a country with a small amount of space with a lot of people in it would have a high population density? Yes. And a country with a large amount of space and a small population would have a low population density. To give you a better explanation of that in a visual, let's go to our countries here. Now these might look like circles right now, but they're actually going to be countries in a second here. So, our first country is this black circle. Okay, this is country number 1. This country has no population. Nobody likes them, don't know why, maybe they did something wrong, but they don't have any population. Our second country, they're going to have a low population. We'll draw a few people in here. Okay. Our third country, they're going to have a medium population. Whoa. So, as you can see, not only is this country smaller than country 2, but it has more people living in it. So this country has a higher population density than country number 2. Then over here, we have country number 4. They have a high population density. And I draw a bunch of stick figures, but that would take too long, so I'm just going to draw little circles for heads. So, here we have a lot more people living in this country. And as you can see, the size of it is not significantly larger or smaller than either other country, but it has the most people in that amount of space, which gives it the highest population density. The country with the second highest would be the medium country, and then the second or the third highest would be the second or the low population country, and then of course our guy here with no population would have the lowest population density. So, what in the world causes people to move to country 4 instead of country 1? Well, there are a lot of factors, okay? A couple of them are climate, maybe the weather's nicer, location, maybe you want to move closer or farther away from something. Natural factors, famine, drought, flood, or maybe jobs, natural resources. So, let's take our friend Massachusetts. This is where I was born, so I thought it would be fitting to use. Let's do our little star for the capital, okay? That's Boston. That is the capital of Massachusetts. Now, as you can see on this key, this gives us population per square mile. So the red down here would have more people than the green. So more people in Boston are living along the coast down here than they are over in central or western Massachusetts. Why is that? Well, let's go to a blank map of Massachusetts. let's go with our first factor, which was climate. Okay, let's say weather. If you're in Boston during the summer, the weather's pretty nice. So where do you think a lot of people are going to live? This is the Atlantic Ocean. Most people are probably going to be living along the coast. So let's draw a bunch of little dots for our people that are living along the coast. It's much nicer there in the summer. You can go to the beach, you can get tan, you can go see a Red Sox game. So a lot of people are going to be living here on the coast versus those in western and central Massachusetts. Not as many people there as the coast. So which area has a higher population density? Answer it for yourself. The coast. Right here. They would have a higher population density. Good. Another reason for a change in population would be location. We know that the capital, Boston, is here, and we know that there are a lot of people living around the capital in Boston, right? Well, there's also another large city in Massachusetts called Springfield. Springfield's about right here. No, it's not a capital, so I shouldn't have drawn that. But Springfield, Massachusetts is right here. It's close to Hartford, Connecticut. It's closer to New York. So it has a lot of population as well living around it. Because, well, there could be more jobs there. There could be more housing, easier housing to purchase there. So we have a lot of people living in Hartford as well, in Springfield, Massachusetts, as well as these places on the coast. So, location and climate, 2 reasons. Our third and final factor that we're going to talk about today for population density increase or decrease would be natural resources. Are there a lot of natural resources or a little amount of natural resources? If there are a lot, then you would probably have more people moving there. But if there aren't as many, people might move away. So, let's think about the location here. We're on the Atlantic Ocean along the coast of Massachusetts, where we already know there are a lot of people. Now, why might a lot of people be living there? Well, perhaps fish. There's a lot of fisheries along the coast of Boston. Those are natural resources that would attract people for jobs. They'd want to go there so they could maybe start up a fishing business or join a fishing boat, and they could get on there and make some money. Okay? Another reason could be, well, in the capital there are going to be a lot of jobs, namely sports teams. Okay? You've got baseball, you've got football, there's a basketball team, and there's a hockey team. So those are a lot of reasons why people might move to certain places. Okay? So, climate, location, natural resources, and some other natural factors like a drought or a flood. Those are the reasons why people might move to certain places and how we get higher population densities or lower population densities. To finish, let's look at a YouTube clip that I've taken from another video. This might give you another picture of what population density looks like. This is the United States, and 1 kilometer means almost 1 mile. Okay, and those are all the people in the U.S. per kilometer. 31 people per kilometer versus China. The same amount of space, but let's see how many more people are in that space. Already it looks like more than the United States. Uh-oh, even more crowded. How would you like to be up close and personal with your classmates like that in a classroom? That wouldn't be very fun, you guys. So, this is a pretty high population density. There's not much space for these people. Oh, 136 people versus 32 in the United States. So, thank you for watching. Tomorrow we'll do some more activities related to population and population density. Have a good night.